So now we're moving on to Division 2, by far the biggest division in FlagPlus football.
And most competitive.
I was about to say that, thanks Ross. We're going to look at Conference A first. So we're going to go division by division, subdivision obviously. So first we'll talk about the defending spring 2007 champs, the Demons. So right here.
Well, you know, Darren, no one knows more about the Demons than I do because they definitely gave us a very good ass kicking in the spring finals. But I'll tell you one thing, that team, you look at the roster on the paper, they have no big superstars, no big game breakers. All the need is just one guy is Carmen Peluche at the helm. This guy at the QB, everyone knows, can definitely tear it up. And what surprises me most about this guy is on defense as a safety, I think he had a couple of picks against us as well. So the guy can get it done, and I mean, you can put even Darren on that team and I think they'll still win the championship. So I think definitely Demons right now in my mind are the team to beat to win the championship in winter.
For sure, defending champs, and I'm going to leave that last shot aside. So I guess we'll talk about another team in this division, that's the Monarchs. They gave it a good run in the winter season. They made it to the conference finals before losing to the eventual champions Notre Dame. So let's talk Monarchs.
Monarchs I have a lot of experience playing with. They're probably the biggest rival of my team. They have a great quarterback who's statistically not really there. However, he gets the job done and you can't argue with wins. They've got a great Mike Roy. They have Stephen Free, who's a great safety. And they've just added Rick Cummings, who everybody knows in the league is quite the athlete. So we'll see where they end up. But I figure that another repeat of last season, maybe not going all the way, but definitely a strong contender in that division.
If I interject on the Monarchs, I think Mike Roy is definitely a great quarterback for the league. I think he possesses the talent of throwing the ball deep and running with the football as well. Rick Cummings, on the other hand, you know, he's done very well statistically speaking, playing D3 ball, but hopefully eventually we'd like to see him play D1 ball because I think he's more talented for D1 than he is for D2 or 3.
For sure, a lot has been expected of Rick Cummings over the years since he first broke in with the Titans, who the Kings beat in the spring 2006 season. Now let's talk in the Central Division, in fact, about Rayhan's team, the Kings.
Well, you know what, like I said, I watched these guys play this past Friday against your Shockers. And you know what, there's some pieces there. There are some pieces there that could elevate this team to the next level. Two against your quarterback, did a very good job throwing the football. I think what makes him really good is his deceptive eye speed, his eye vision. There's one play where he had a deep ball which went to you, which you didn't look up for. It's kind of disappointing you. I was like, man, go up for the football, man. And you know what, he's very good.
I think sometimes he deceives me too.
Richard, aka Chief, he had some great catches last week. I mean, he was trying to pretend to be Brendan Davis out there with one-handed moves there, but Chief's is a very good receiver. He has some pieces there that could elevate them to being a top team in the Conference A division of D2. So eventually, I think this team is a dark horse to look out for.
Definitely. I mean, you can't argue with the success involved in that. Some multiple-time champions. Tuga was a great quarterback.
For the Phoenix, which...
One more thing to add, just the team you saw also know on Saturday night, or Friday night, I think it was, we're missing our defensive captain, Adi Sharma, who is also, I find, is a proven D2 defensive captain in this league, and he's on
the leading tackler every season.
Leading tackler every season. I mean, this guy can really do it all, and I think with this guy leading our defense down the road, we can't really lose.
Just keep in mind, though, you must learn how to play without your best players, because you will have situations where injuries or other things might come about, and if you don't have, you know, Sharma playing for you or Tuga's playing for you, you gotta have Plan B and C in place for you to succeed in this league.
Definitely, we'll definitely take a look at the Kings later on in the season. I'm sure they'll be a team to be reckoned with. So next, moving on to Click Clack in the Central Division. I know Ross has something to say.
I know Click Clack. You hear a lot about them on the message boards online. Paul Kamel and Daniele are the two main players on their team, I'd say. They're strong from last year. They did lose Rick Cummings, which will be a huge blow to their team. But I think that they'll be competitive and give the Kings the run for their money in the Central Division.
Definitely, that might be one of the most intense teams I've ever seen play live. Now we'll move into the West Division of Conference A. Definitely one of the teams to look at is the Convicts, who put together a good run last year before
beating us, the Shockers,
and then look at the Monarchs afterwards. Yeah,
that's right.
That was a fluke win.
Yes, it was. Due to questionable refereeing, which me and Rayan hope to absolve this year.
I'll make no comment on this.
Okay, so anybody has anything to say about the actual Convicts team?
Well, I'll tell you what, Darren. Convicts are, headed by Kevin Solari, who I played with in the spring season. He's definitely a good potential quarterback. Sometimes I find he gets away from the whole essence of the offense, and he just becomes too tunnel vision. But the guy is really amazing. I mean, he's passionate. He's a good runner. He can definitely pull the deep ball. And they also have a couple other guys from Phil Delorme from the University of Montreal. They've also added another guy, Phil, who I played with in spring. So this team has a lot of brain breakers and a lot of players that could definitely step up their games. And I want to say here in front of you guys that part of my news and rumors that I think they're going to be adding Kareem Bennett and Ked Moore to their team.
Well, you know, when you talk about Solaric, I played against him last year for the High Rollers in the Spring League. And the thing about Solaric, though, is, as you said, he has tunnel vision. He tends to get away from the game plan. The problem with Solaric at times is that he tends to underhand his passes if things are frustrating, going not his way. So if you can get to his head, mentally speaking, and get into a trash talk with him, I think he could be beat by that in that regard in terms of getting to that trash talking ability.
But to defend Solaric in the last sense of this team is that he is an innovator to an offense that basically FlagPlus football hasn't seen. He's the only team that's basically run the shovel pass after every play, and as a FlagPlus football player, I must say defending the shovel pass is one of the most annoying things you can possibly do, but it's effective.
I'll say this, Gold Rush used to do a lot of that too.